go. Train tight. We're go.
Gentlemen, this school is about combat. There are no points for second place.
This is the Never Down, Never Out podcast with your host, T.R. Matson.
Welcome back. T.R. Matson here, Never Down, Never Out. Thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully that intro, I know I've talked in the past that I'm going to change a few things up with thumbnails and with titles and things like that. The structure will still be the same. I think it's easily organized, and I think that's a good thing. But that intro is not going anywhere. I love that intro, man. Dawson just crushed it. So appreciate you tuning in this morning. I hope you're having a good day. I'm going to knock out one more recording before Gonky shows up to get ahead, because I'm going to have a busy last 10 days of May. And my commitment to you is that there's going to be one of these podcasts every day, and I'm sure not going to fall out of that now. So I need to get ahead of these things. And today we are talking about the comeback mindset. Comebacks. We've all been in a position for a comeback, large or small. And the comeback mindset, I think, is critical, right? I mean, the human nature loves the comeback. They love the underdog story. They love the comeback. If you don't believe that, go look at any movie. Any movie, it seems like there is some sort of comeback. Both my books have a comeback portion to it. And it's not like when I wrote them, I sat down and was like, you know what? I've got to identify the comeback, the underdog of Rattler, and bring him back. It's just the natural way of storytelling. It's people want to hear about the person that gets knocked down, that's down and out, that's in rock bottom, and what do they do with it, right? I mean, very few people want to sit there and hear about somebody that was just successful with everything they did, because I think people are smart and they know that if you're successful at everything you've done, you're either not telling people about your failures or you really haven't pushed yourself very hard. So the comeback mindset, if you will, is that mentality that when the audience, digests it, you go, hey, I've been in a less than ideal situation. I've been in a situation where I'm not super happy about it. And if that person can come back, maybe I can too. I just have to learn how to do it. And this is one of those things for me, it's going to be different for everybody. My comeback mindset, and I'm not saying this is the healthiest. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm not saying that everybody should use this. But when I get knocked down, and I have been, and I've told some of the stories, whether it was the air sickness, whether it was the getting grounded in T-45s because of my size, whether there were other things that have happened in my career that maybe I haven't 100% told the internet. But I've been knocked down pretty hard, whether it's medical, whether it's the Navy. My mindset is anger. Not anger in like I want to yell at my kids kind of way, or anger like I want to flip off the person who just cut me off in traffic. Not that kind of anger. I harness an anger and a passion for the idea that being successful is the best revenge. So in the times that I have been knocked down, in the times that I have been knocked off the track that I was on, that I thought was the track I was supposed to be on, after my 24-hour pity party, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back, there's an episode on it. After that, I dust myself off and I go, all right, you don't think I'm good enough? You don't think I was deserving of that? Watch out, because here I come. And I use that kind of, call it positive anger, positive negativity, which is weird, but hear me out. I use it as fuel. And I've said that on social media. I've had plenty of people from my past when I first started. It's actually stopped since this podcast, which is interesting. But I've had plenty of people when the books came out and when I started going on other podcasts talking about aviation, there was a lot of messages from my past of just pure negativity, pure haters, right? And people have heard me talk about that. And I decided, and I've posted it, you go look, that's the fuel, right? That is the fuel that keeps me going. That is the fuel that gets me fired up, because I've learned that I don't necessarily care about the opinion of anyone that I wouldn't ask advice from. Think about that for a second. I don't care about the opinion of anybody that I would not seek advice from. So when somebody that comes at me that I would not seek advice from, that I don't care about their opinion, comes at me in a negative way, you're just fueling the comeback. You think you've got me, and it's the old adage, I didn't hear a bell. Like, I'm still coming at you. I'm still going to try. Now, am I going to come at you on the same path that I was on? No. Am I going to come at you in a vindictive payback kind of way? No. But I am going to show you my value. And if you've written me off as somebody that is not deserving of whatever the situation is, somewhere I'm going to have you second guess that decision. Now, I'll never see it. I'll never have somebody come up to me and be like, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. The likelihood of that in your life is almost zero. But I know it happens. I know there's been situations where the biggest haters, the biggest people that were trying to hold me down, saw the success and went, dang. I know it because I've had people tell me it. I've had third parties go, hey, so-and-so, I ran into him and couldn't believe that you've written books, or that you're with the airlines, or all these things, right? So, and that's fine. There's a line between using that and becoming a narcissist where you're like, I'm better than everybody. I am certainly not better than everybody, and I'll be the first one to admit that. I'm just a hardworking individual trying to do right by God and my family and the people that I can hopefully help, because I realize that while all of the things are fun in this world, it's really the effect you have on others in a positive way that makes the biggest difference, and it makes getting up in the morning worthwhile. So you have to figure out your comeback mindset. What is going to be yours? You may not be like me and use that anger as fuel, and that's okay. You may do it in a much quieter way, but at some point you are going to get knocked down. You're going to get beat up. You're going to have to stand your ground on something, like we talked about a few episodes ago. It's going to be hard. I joke, or I kind of say that be careful thinking you're at rock bottom, because life has a way of showing you that was nowhere near rock bottom, right? So, but you are going to hit these low points. And it's in those moments that you need to understand your fuel so you can pull from it. So you can dig deep. You could readjust your plan, readjust how you're going to go about the plan, evaluate if the road you were on was even the road you were supposed to be on. But don't over-evaluate it, right? And this is where I put a lot of faith in my beliefs and in God, honestly, is I go, a lot of times when I look back at whether it's relationships or career paths and things didn't go the way I was hoping, I realize it's more likely because that wasn't the path I was supposed to be on. But that's tough. And I relearned that many, many times over because I'm stubborn. And I think I know what's best for me and my life and where I'm supposed to be. But I have learned over the years that I roll with it and I figure it out. And with the discipline of working hard every day and moving forward every day and taking that step forward every day, if you can do that, that's huge. Because that in and of itself is enough to figure out what kind of fuels your comeback. And once you've done it once or twice and like it's a formula in my opinion. And once you've figured out your formula, then you're unstoppable. Then you don't actually get knocked down anymore. You just kind of bounce off things and keep rolling with things and go, okay, well, this is when I start, enact, plan, whatever. You know the formula to success, and you know how to get there. You just kind of have to figure out the path. That's my theory. But everybody loves a comeback. So tell me your comeback stories. I love the comments. I love the support. I know I say it over and over and over again. I don't say things to BS you. I'm not that person on the internet or YouTube. You know all the people I'm talking about. They're just saying what needs to be heard. I'm trying to get a message out there because I genuinely want people to realize that we're all going through stuff. We're all in this crazy game together. And if we could help each other out, we give ourselves a better chance. So what's your comeback story? What is your fuel? How do you handle the comeback? Tell me in the comments. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.
T.R. Matson is a 20-year Navy career combat veteran who flew the E-2C Hawkeye and F/A-18C Hornet. He's the author of Treason Flight and Vengeance Flight. You can reach him at T.R. Matson or trmatson.com. Thanks for listening to the Never Down, Never Out podcast.